Don't want to get hurt by police? Don't break the law. 'Tis a common phrase among those who unquestioningly support law enforcement regardless of their proven track record of corruption and misconduct. Sadly, the apologists are nearly as dangerous as the corrupt and abusive officers as they advocate for blind support of the badge. Many times, apologists will support censorship, become brutal, and even hold fundraisers for cops who shoot unarmed people in the back. The badge and uniform are infallible in the blind eyes of those who are too afraid to question authority. Police kill, we are told, because they have to make it home to their families at night. Police only harm those guilty of a crime. If you don't want to get shot by police, don't break the law, they say. Such a salinity is unparalleled. However, it still doesn't stop the apologists from pasting some derivative of the Gene Wilder meme all over the internet every time a cop is caught smashing in some innocent person's face. Image: http://tftppull.netn-cdn.com/wp-content/uploads/2013/10/wilder.jpg. Wilder. In an attempt to break through to the apologist crowd, we have gathered 30 stories from our archives of examples in which police hurt innocent people, who never broke the law. Tragically, some of those hurt or killed were children. Some were even disabled and mentally ill. Image: http://thefreethought project.com/wp-content/uploads/2015/30-reasons.jpg. 30 reasons. Jonathan Sanders had broken no law before he was chased down by a Mississippi cop who threw him to the ground and strangled him to death in front of family members. Esmeralda Rossi was getting into the shower when 2 Arizona cops illegally entered her home, pulled her towel off, assaulted and arrested her as she screamed in horror, completely naked. Rossi had broken no law. Eric Wilson was on his way home from his job at Lighthouse for the Blind when he was stopped by 2 Little Rock police officers alleging he fit the description of a suspect. The fact that Wilson is legally blind did not stop these officers from assaulting a man who could not even see them. Dylan Taylor had just walked out of a convenience store after purchasing a drink when police mistook him for a suspect. Taylor, who had in headphones at the time, did not hear the officer's commands clearly. Officer Braun Cruz murdered then this innocent man, in broad daylight, despite Dylan Taylor not having committed a crime. Daniel Chong was kidnapped by police and held in a pitch-black cell for 5 days without food or water. He had broken no law and the officers who nearly killed him simply said that he had been at the wrong place at the wrong time. Floyd Dent, a retired grandfather, was pulled over by cops who alleged he was a drug dealer. He was pulled from his vehicle and severely beaten on the side of the road by multiple cops. Video evidence later showed him to be innocent as well as implicating an officer for planting drugs on his vehicle. Antonio Martinez was 22 years old when he was brutally attacked, pepper-sprayed and arrested by Officer Jeffrey Guy. Martinez, who has Down syndrome and the mental capacity of a 7-year-old, had committed no crime. After realizing their idiocy, the sheriff offered his family a frozen turkey as compensation. Suresh Bhai Patel was left paralyzed after Officer Eric Parker brutalized this 57-year-old grandfather who was in America to visit his children. He had committed no crime. Days after this thug was seen on video attacking an innocent man, apologists set up a fundraiser for Officer Eric Parker. Parker Mansell Jr. is in a wheelchair due to health complications. When police came to his house to serve a warrant to his son, they deployed a taser into the stomach of this immobile senior citizen, on purpose. Dustin Theoharis was asleep in his bed when 2 cops busted into his bedroom and began to unload their pistols on this unarmed man. It is estimated that the 2 officers fired over 20 rounds of which 16 landed in Mr. Theoharis. Theoharis was not the man police were looking for and had committed no crime. Sherrod Kindle was on his way home from delivering baby formula to a relative when he pulled over to answer a cell phone call. He was not committing any crime. When police saw this suspicious activity, they pulled Kendall out of his vehicle before he could put it in gear. Instead of telling Kendall to put the vehicle back into park, an officer opened fire. Kendall received inadequate treatment for his gunshots and was held in tortuous conditions for weeks, still bleeding out. Roger Carlos was photographing a building of what was soon to be home to his wife's medical practice when all of a sudden he was ransacked by an undercover drug task force officer and two SAPD SWAT members. He was beaten to the point of hospitalization after cops mistook him for another suspect, who happened to already be in police custody when Carlos was beaten. Chad Chadwick was completely innocent when he was shot, tasered, brutally beaten, and had stun grenades thrown at him by vicious and incompetent SWAT officers. Then, those same officers tried to cover up their mistake by charging him with 6 criminal offenses including felony assault on a police officer. David Hooks was killed by police as he lay face down in his own home. Police mistakenly raided the home of Hooks based on a bogus tip from a car thief about methamphetamine. This beloved father and grandfather never broke the law. A Kai Gurley was walking to his apartment with his girlfriend when he startled a pair of rookie cops. Instead of saying, "Hello" or "Hi," NYPD officer Peter Liang put a bullet through this young father. Maria Fernanda Godinez was having a night out at an Orlando club when a cop fired his weapon at someone outside the club, instantly killing Godinez inside. The police charged the man who never fired a shot with her murder. Henry Davis was mistaken by incompetent police for another man. He was then brutally beaten by Ferguson cops. Despite being completely innocent, the Ferguson PD charged him with property damage for getting his blood on their uniforms. Jody Kozma is a 25-year-old woman who is mentally impaired. Police accused this innocent woman of shoplifting before assaulting her and throwing her to the ground. After they had reviewed the tapes, they discovered that Kozma hadn't stolen anything. Jerry Waller was asleep in his bed when incompetent police mistakenly burst into his home. Thinking he was being robbed, Waller went for his gun. This senior citizen was gunned down in his own bed and the officers responsible for his death were never disciplined. Spencer Coptice was a toddler, who was suffering from inoperable brain cancer. A selfless medicinal marijuana grower was dialing in a strand of cannabis that was actually improving Copta's condition and giving it to him for free. However, police raided the medicinal grow farm and arrested the owner. Coptice, unable to get the medicine he needed, died months later. Juan Ortiz, who was a 4-11 double prime Hispanic teen with Down syndrome, was mistaken by 2 veteran cops for a 5-8 double prime white man. In front of his parents, police violently assaulted this young man in his front yard. He had harmed no one. Najee Rivera was run over by 2 criminal officers after they pulled him over, leaving him severely injured. Police lied and said Rivera attempted to run away from them and that he went for their batons. However, months later, a surveillance tape from a nearby store showed that everything the officers said was a lie. Robert Saylor was a young man with Down syndrome who threw a bit of a tantrum after watching a movie and refused to leave the theater. 3 off-duty cops, moonlighting as security, killed him. Saylor had not committed a crime, and the officers were never charged with one. Gilberto Powell is another Down syndrome man who was beaten within an inch of his life after cops saw a bulge in his pants. Incompetent cops mistook his colostomy bag for an erection and severely beat him. Kelly Thomas was a schizophrenic homeless man whose case became widely known. He was detained by several officers who then beat him to death, on camera. Thomas had not committed a crime. Luis Rodriguez was an innocent man who was killed by multiple officers after leaving a movie theater with his wife and daughter. The heart-wrenching murderer was captured on video. Douglas Irby was finishing up watering his lawn when neighbors, completely brainwashed by the police state, called the cops because they saw Irby holding what they thought was a gun. It was actually a water hose nozzle. Officers approached the position of Doug Zerby and without any warning whatsoever, fired upon Zerby, fatally wounding him with 12 rounds that entered his chest, arms and lower legs. Tamir Rice is another famous case of a child being gunned down by police. Rice was playing with a BB gun at a park when Officer Timothy Lohman pulled up and immediately shot the boy, without ever giving him a chance. John Crawford was looking to purchase a BB gun at an Ohio Walmart when multiple officers rushed in and shot him on sight. He committed no crime and harmed no one. Lastly is the innocent baby Boo, whose face was blown apart after officers threw a stun grenade into his crib as he slept. The next time you see the Gene Wilder meme asserting that only criminals are harmed by the police, please do humanity a favor and share this article in hopes of waking them up. Read more at http://thefreethoughtproject.com/don't-hurt-police-break-law-30-examples-statement-epic-fail/#048